Before the video starts, I just want to tell you guys to please subscribe to the channel for more NBA related content like this. I post 2 videos a week on a range of NBA related topics. If that's something you're interested in, then I would appreciate it if you supported the channel. Now, let's get back to the video. With the NBA season returning next month, we're getting back into the conversation about who will win it all this year. There's even conversations if the title will be even considered legit, but that's a whole different discussion. It's very clear which teams this season are most likely going to be the ones competing for a title. Those are the Lakers, Clippers, and the Bucks. But looking long term, the number of teams that can be considered as contenders in the coming years is growing more and more. As young teams and young players start to develop more, we're going to see a group of new teams enter the conversation. In this video, we're going to look at 5 teams that I think will be championship contenders in the future. There are plenty of teams that you can make a case for, but the 5 I have are what I feel are the ones to most likely be in that position. My 5 teams are probably going to be different than yours, so don't roast me too hard. This is just my opinion at the end of the day. But with that being said, let's not waste any more time. My name is Mazir, and let's jump right into it. When the Pelicans traded Anthony Davis to the Lakers last summer, and we saw the pieces they were getting back, we knew that something special would be brewing in New Orleans. They were getting Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, and 3 first-round picks. And as if that wasn't enough, they also picked up the first overall pick in the draft with Zion Williamson. With all these pieces together, the Pelicans quickly became one of the best young teams in the NBA. The Pelicans this season were already looking like a team with a lot of potential before the NBA season shut down. The Pelicans were 28-36 and 9th in the West. They will be one of the teams going to Orlando in July to fight for a playoff spot. Brandon Ingram had an all-star season, averaging 24 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists while shooting 46.6% from the field. This was a huge jump from the previous year, where he was playing second fiddle to LeBron James with the Lakers. This new situation has given him a new opportunity to shine, and he has done just that. Lonzo Ball has also made significant improvements in this season. His pass-first playstyle and solid defense has proven to be effective with this new squad, and along with that, his shooting has improved drastically from the last 2 seasons. After he came back from injury, Zion Williamson was putting up all-star numbers, and he was already fitting into the NBA pretty well. He averaged 23 points and 7 rebounds while shooting 59% from the field. Not only do you have these 3, but you also have a group of role players that fit in well with this squad. Guys like Jackson Hayes, Drew Holiday, and JJ Redick are some of the great pieces that play significant roles in the team's success. The Pelicans are one of the young teams in the NBA, so them getting to that championship level will take some time. But to already have a potential superstar, an all-star, and a ton of picks and solid young pieces, this is a team that can do a lot of great things in the future, and it's only a matter of time before we see them as contenders. The Dallas Mavericks this season shot up the ranks as one of the most promising teams in the NBA, and it's in part due to one man, Luka Doncic. His impressive rookie season made it clear that he is someone that could lead a championship team in the future, and this season he has made that even more clear. Before the season was suspended, the first-time All-Star was putting up 28 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists in his second year as a 21-year-old. There's no doubt that he will only grow from here and become even more of a star than he already is. Another important piece of the Mavericks' potential success is Kristaps Porzingis. He's had a solid year after being hurt the last season, putting up 19 points and nearly 10 rebounds a game. During the season, he remained relatively healthy and was able to contribute in a big way to the Mavs. But the problem is that will it sustain throughout his career? One more major injury to him could break any chances the Mavericks have of winning a title, and that max contract isn't going to be looking so good. But on the other hand, if he is healthy, he will play a major role in a championship run for the Mavericks team in the future. Another benefit the Mavericks have is that they have a decent amount of assets that they could either keep or use to get something better. I'm talking about guys like Delon Wright, Jalen Brunson, Seth Curry, Dwight Powell, and more. These solid role players are on reasonable contracts, and they could either stay to help this team grow, or they could be exchanged for other pieces that could help more. Luka Doncic has propelled the Mavericks to an incredibly promising team for the future, and I have no doubt that if everybody stays healthy and if they get some more pieces, the Mavericks will be competing for a championship pretty soon. I give it 2 to 3 years before they make a conference finals. This is a fun team to watch, and it'll be interesting to see how much more this team can grow. Now yes, the Celtics are arguably considered a contender this year, and I agree with that, but let's just think about this long term. Jason Tatum has quickly developed into one of the league's brightest stars at the age of 22, and it's only going up from here. I mean, let's remember, in his rookie season, he was 1 game away from eliminating LeBron James and taking his team to the NBA Finals, and he is now the face of the Boston Celtics with an extension on the way. Along with him, you have Jaylen Brown, who is locked up until 2024 and has a lot of all-star potential. You also have Kemba Walker, who is experienced as a franchise player, and he will help this team grow even more. You also have to add in the fact that Walker seems to be more likable to the team, and according to the players, he's more selfless than Kyrie was in Boston, so Kemba was just an additional plus to the team. The Celtics also have an incredible amount of assets. Marcus Smart, Gordon Hayward, Romeo Langford, and more. These are guys that can help take this team to the next level. There's also potential to flip these assets for another star player who is unhappy somewhere else. These assets are going to play a huge role in the Celtics' success in one way or the other. The Boston Celtics are currently 43-21 and 3rd in the East, so they're not an up-and-coming team like others on this list are. They could make a fight this season to make the finals, and it's not impossible, but regardless of whether or not they do it this year, there's no doubt that they have the pieces to stay as contenders for the foreseeable future, and I have no doubt that banner number 18 will be raised to the rafters in the coming years. With the way they've been able to be contenders for the past couple of years now, it's hard to call them a team for the future, but the Philadelphia 76ers are a relatively young team that has a lot of years left in the tank. Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons are 26 and 23 respectively, so they have time to get even better than where they are right now. The big thing for them is, will they be able to stay together for that long, and will they be able to stay healthy for that long? The duo hasn't really lived up to their expectations this season though. They were thought to be the biggest competition to the Milwaukee Bucks, but they are 39 and 26 and 6th in the East. That doesn't really sound like a team that is supposed to be a championship contender, but like I said, both of them are still young, so they are going to hopefully develop more and become more of a threat in the East like they're expected to be. Also, don't expect this team to be making any roster changes anytime soon, considering how big the contracts are for Tobias Harris and Al Horford. However, these two pieces are important to the team's success. The 76ers are another example of a team with a lot of solid assets that they can either keep or swap. They have guys like Josh Richardson, Zaire Smith, Jake Milton, and Matisse Thybulle, who as a rookie has already made a significant impact on the team for the defensive end. After getting eliminated the way they did in 2019, I would hope that it would give the Sixers some motivation to come back even stronger, and while it doesn't look like 2020 will be that time, I'm confident that in the coming years, we will see them as NBA champions. The 2019 season for the Denver Nuggets was bittersweet. A young team like that really wasn't expected to do much, maybe a low seed playoff entrance or just barely missing out, but they did the complete opposite. They got the number 2 seed in a competitive Western Conference, made it to the second round, and lost in a Game 7 that could have sent them to the conference finals. While that loss was disappointing at the moment, it also showed just how great this Nuggets team can be. Nikola Jokic is 25 years old and has already established himself as one of the best big men in the league and a future MVP. He also lost a ridiculous amount of weight while the season has been suspended. Jamal Murray is another example of a future all-star if he can remain consistent. That duo right there can be something special, but the big question for this team is the others. Michael Porter Jr. is talented and he has great potential, but the Nuggets have been incredibly cautious with the guy, and to an extent I can understand why, considering his health. Selecting him was a huge risk in the first place, and they're going to make sure that he is as valuable as he can be for this Nuggets team. The pieces around them are not as great as some of the other teams on this list, but they're clearly enough to give the Nuggets the regular season success that they have had for the past couple of years, so they are clearly doing something right over there. The Denver Nuggets just need some small moves here and there, and they will have themselves a team that will be a contender for years to come. which will be incredibly impressive considering the competitiveness of the Western Conference. I have no doubt Nikola Jokic will win an MVP one day and Jamal Murray will be an all-star one day. They already have defied expectations in the past, so who's to say that they won't do it again in the future? So that's going to wrap up the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please be sure to leave a like and comment below what teams you think I missed. Are there any other teams that you think could be future champions? Let me know in the comments. And also, if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to the channel for more NBA content like this. Thank you guys for the continuous support, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.